Welcome, everybody. Welcome to 10-4. This is a section by Winning on Wednesday where we have our members from Winning on Wednesday able to do their 10-minute presentation to talk about their business. So today I'm excited to introduce Art Randolph. Art, how are you?
Doing good.
Are we excited today to do this presentation? Okay.
I've
Take
not
it.
done a presentation in a long time, so this is good.
Oh, good, good. All right. So take it away.
So, we always talk about know, like, and trust. This is a little snapshot of what we're going to go over today. Know me, where I was at, questions to ponder. You can see the list there. We good on this. One thing I've learned with PowerPoints, if you start reading it to people, what's the point? Let them look at it and talk. So, here's our structure for today. Ready to start? Here we go. Okay, this is me. Now, this is the short list. You've heard about my family a little bit, but what I've realized is in these meetings, I don't give up a whole lot about me. It's very external because I'm very private because of my public life. However, if you look at these things, I am an outdoorsman. I've proved that from the tree fort. And I kind of like the one at the bottom there where sometimes I'm the unstoppable force, sometimes I'm the immovable object. Sometimes I work against myself because I'm both in my head and then I don't get anything done. What I've learned over the course of my life, there's no coincidences. I was meant to be here with all of you and all this good stuff. So that kind of encapsulates how I've lived my life. My daughters, when they fit into one tree, which is kind of cool, I still live there sometimes as far as in my head because they're 36, 33, and almost 30. So it's kind of gone fast. The outdoors, my brother hanging out in the woods up in Maine. We're in the wilderness, and I saw this picture of him being up there fishing like we love to do. And then you see that divot in the back line there. That's me when I was 20 years old. I just jumped on the job and my last day on the job, and then helping to build a swing set and a playground in my community. So kind of like those things. And I had to learn how to write my name in Mandarin when I was in Taiwan. And that's what it looks like. It's a bunch of gobbledygook, but somehow Yasser Lon turns into Arthur Randolph. That's me. Now, you can see I got a frontline life. I've been out there, out in the front, all these cool things, but there was some stuff that was missing. And literally, it was my ability to add the money I needed for the extra stuff in life. The job, the career paid the bills, but how do you get to the fun stuff? So that creates this question. How do you fund the fun in your life? Well, for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different, but for folks like me with non-typical hours, non-typical schedules, uh, we don't like to be boxed in on our feet or have a second boss. We've got to do something different. And I know my daughters are watching me because I see how they're living their lives. And even when they don't say it, what I do now still affects what they're going to do now and in the future. So I've had to address that. There's questions I've always asked myself and feel like, man, I don't like the way this is. So if people are feeling these things, well, maybe we got a course correction. And all of you have done things differently. I've just watched in the last year and a half, 2 years, how you've made those course corrections because probably some of these questions in your own words were adding up. So we're all in this same big square. We're all these other people, and we've got these common things. And then we come to this fork in the road. Well, what do we got? Are we satisfied, inspired? Do we feel fulfilled? Are we living our life? Are we in an upward trajectory? Or is it kind of like, man, every day is Groundhog Day, and I'm not liking the groundhog, even if it's close to Meryl's birthday. I would rather have the Meryl groundhog than that downward arrow groundhog. So now we're going to get into like the meats and potatoes of this little 10-minute gig here. I'm addressing it through ACN. It's been around 32 years. It has all the recognition, has all the things that validate that it's a company that's here for the long term. I love the fact that the founders are blue collar guys that were in the field where I am, so they know what my world is, and they address the corporate side, the business side, the parent company side through the eyes of how does this affect somebody out in the street. I love that. It's like me knowing what it's like to be a patrolman when I became a sergeant. I didn't forget my roots. So We partner up with companies that actually provide the services. So this is the big picture of the services. We cover a lot of industries, both in business and in the private sector for the individual. It's a lot of stuff here. I have a hand in every one of these industries, and I can help people where it fits for these industries. So that's me in that circle. The company hasn't forgotten how hard their lives were when they were young. So they have project feeding kids. Somebody becomes a customer, they're using the service, they're paying the bill. Some of that money, instead of going to profits, pockets, and vacations, is taking care of a kid somewhere. Keeps them humble, keeps them real. The companies that we partner with speaks to itself. It's proven companies, may or may not like them for personal experiences, but generally industry wide, they're respected. They're big. Flashes are partnership with T-Mobile. The one company I'm going to just focus on for the last couple minutes here is going to be Impact Health Sharing. And here's why. I have a very big goal, and are you guys willing to help me reach it? There it is. I intend to save $1 million in healthcare premiums, the insurance bills everybody pays every month, and they're not going to have to compromise on the quality of the care. It's very big, scary, wakes me up. I'm having trouble sleeping because I'm excited to do this because I have a little bit of a war going on with the healthcare industry because I see these things on a rescue squad. So, Impact. They do everything like insurance, but because they go to market as a nonprofit, they don't have to have that big bucket of money that they got to extract from the clients and play that game. They do two things. One, because it's a sharing platform, they take the bills and they go through just like the insurance company. They take care of the doctors the exact same ways. They have those conversations. They work with them. But the one thing I noticed that's very helpful on behalf of a client, they're like your advocate, like Elliot would be in the courtroom, or Mara is guiding you through your stuff, or Juan's helping you pick the right uh, equipment. They sit back and they say, wait a minute, this bill is really big. And the schedule of payments, that's the fair payment amount, is a lot less. So we're going to work with the doctor here to get the right payment. And it's big because that is how people can save on the premiums, but they can still go to the same doctors and all the things they expect. So now that's how I'm going to accomplish that big scary goal. That's the company that we partnered with. ACN is my kind of like my back office and all the company things that need to be done. They do the heavy lifting. I just need to connect people to see this. And when they see it, if it's a good fit for them, it solves a problem for them, it helps their family or their business, then we get started and I get closer to that goal. So now, here's the challenge. A lot of people are like, what do you mean? This window just gives you the comparison of what we're doing differently to address the standard things that create such high premiums. Everybody see the list? A nod of the head or a thumbs up tells me I don't have to read every bullet point. Okay. This next slide is really going to be very important. Listen for the need. We're always saying, well, how do we help each other? Or what should I do? Or who's your best customer? So you look on the left side there, my left anyway, a lot of young families, they're winging it because they're healthy. They're trying to avoid the healthcare costs because it competes with the mortgage or the rent. They don't have enough money. They're taking that hit. They're hoping they stay healthy. A good friend of mine said, no, thanks to this, I'm doing good. A couple years later, his daughter's got a pretty serious illness. Now, he's a successful guy, but he was flying without insurance. And it kills me because this would have at least helped him from my perspective. That's his business, but it drove home the point I got to get the word out more. 27-year-olds, you see that one, and business owners. I hear it all the time. How do you get enough people to work? How do you retain quality employees? How do you attract quality employees? Well, healthcare coverage has become a big deal. And then on the business side, call it what it is. I would really like to partner with people that they have kind of a lifestyle like me. They don't want to work any more hours on their feet. They don't want a traditional way. They just can't do it anymore. They need something that fits into while they're living their life. How am I doing on time so far? I'm probably about 7 minutes. Okay, this is the last slide. What would you like to know that I didn't share yet? Let's open for questions.
Okay, we got to open up to questions. So, anybody want to ask questions? So, okay. I have a question. How many products does ACN have? I mean, I know this is one of many products that you're, you know,
We're
making.
in we're in 13 uh, services, like 8 industries. So we've got the wireless, we've got the healthcare, we've
Mm-hmm.
got your merchant services, we've got one that's the fun part is Truvy. So for folks that say aren't going to go deep on a full-blown package where they need somebody to put it together, but they want to just get the best rates and they're tired of going to what Expedia or some of those, we address that. And I've used it. I use 5 of the services. My phone works perfectly. I use the Flash. AT&T is another good one.
Yeah, the big companies, like you said, so
Yeah.
ADP and all that. So all the big, I saw the big companies.
Yeah.
The other
Okay.
question I was going to say, regarding the insurance, anybody can get that, or is that a certain, anybody can join, or is that there's no requirements for that?
Yes. Anybody can join it. What they do is they're very upfront and transparent with the form that they have a person fill out to identify if they have any pre-existing conditions. They have a policy on that, and they don't want to surprise anybody, so they'll sit back and they'll go, okay, you have a couple things here. Maybe you need to stay where you're at because we don't want you to jump over here and lose your coverage. But I will say this, here's an example one. Somebody had a pre-existing condition and they saw the benefit of this for all the things that it's still covered. Unfortunately for them, that pre-existing condition popped up again. It turned into a $220,000 bill. By the time Impact was done negotiating with the doctors, that bill had been reduced down to 14,000. What I do with the healthcare, what I do for folks is I have a simple page where I can pull up the date of birth of the oldest person to get covered, and we plug it in, and then it gives me the base numbers on what their upfront deductible would be, their primary amount, and then it's a 90-10 split. Now I've matched this up to Blue Cross Blue Shield, which I have from the police department. This is better. Now, New Jersey, we're not in yet. They're working it. We're in 47 states, New York, Connecticut, most of the East Coast, the whole rest of the country. Washington, Rhode Island, New Jersey are the three we haven't gotten into yet. And that's all legislative stuff.
Wow. Any other questions before? Mm, okay. And the insurance, oh, we have another guest coming in. I was gonna say with the insurance is, I had a question regarding the insurance. Is it
Sure.
the cost? Is it? I mean, it's always people talking about the cost, because everybody's looking for to get covered, right? And oh, that's the thing. Can this be used as a supplemental insurance or like a secondary? Because like, say I've
Yeah.
already have insurance already, I can.
Yep. So I'll give you an example. I'm 64, so I'm on the verge of that. And I get my coverage from the police department. And since I was on a governing body for my town, they also offered Blue Cross Blue Shield. So I saw the real numbers from write the check side of the house. My
Okay.
coverage would be about 12 to $1,500 a month is what it costs the town as a retiree. It's just the way the program is set up for that coverage. The same stuff is $426 a month with Impact. And there's no restrictions as far as networks because they deal with the doctor, whoever you choose. You just go and get what you got to get done. And so I travel a lot. I'm out of network most of the time. That would be a monster bill. And because they negotiate every bill and they're focused on health and wellness and things that the other things that I can elaborate on when somebody wants to know more, they want you to be healthy. And like if I was up in Maine and I had to get flown out because I broke my leg on the lake, Blue Cross and Blue Shield say, great, but I would be out of network. That flight would be monstrous. It'd be a game breaker. Plus, I have an 80-20 split. We have a 90-10 split, and it's capped at 5,000. It's based on families. So they
Yeah.
took the things that seemed to really get people, and they addressed that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
Got it.
not chasing the profits. They pay their bills. They make their living, but they don't have that big nut that they have to put on the table for stakeholders and investors. So that nonprofit angle frees them up to really be client focused.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
Thank you.
It's a big deal to save people that money because if they don't have to work for that extra money, but it's in their budget, what else
Yeah.
could they do with that? What kind of positive for their life would they have?
Mm.
What services are they not using now that you guys all offer that they would suddenly have the money for? And businesses, it's even bigger. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Art. That's it. No more slides, right? So we can
That's it.
and okay. Well, let me stop the slide. Can you? I'm just trying to stop it, but there you
There
go.
you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Art Randolph. That was excellent. And I guess now we're just gonna open up to networking now.